Welcome to Mpact. Listed in July 2011, Mpact is one of the largest paper and plastics packaging businesses in Southern Africa and is listed on the JSE's main board. The group maintains leading market positions in Southern Africa for most of our products. Mpact has 32 operating sites in South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique, Botswana and Zimbabwe. Our operations comprise of paper mills, corrugating plants, plastics plants, recycling operations, and paper converting operations. Mpact is driven by sustainability, with safety, health and environmental management as a core value. The CEO's Safety, Health and Environmental (SHE) philosophy states that all injuries, occupational illnesses, safety and environmental incidents and fires are preventable and that the target for them is zero. There are three underlying principles that give effect to this philosophy. Individuals are responsible for their own safety. Adherence to the fire and safety rules to live by is the minimum standard throughout Mpact, and there is no differentiation in the treatment and expectations of employees, contractors and service providers. To achieve this, a number of safety, health and environmental interventions are in place, and these are regularly monitored and enforced. At Mpact, we employ strict quality, environmental and safety and hygiene standards, and at various of our operations which are certified to ISO 9001, 14001 and 22000 and other food safety standards. Please familiarize yourself with the requirements for the plant that you are in. General safety rules and regulations. On entering our site, visitors and contractors must please make sure they have filled in the register at security. Everyone entering our sites will be required to undergo a breathalyzer test. A video induction training is then required for anyone entering the Mpact site and is valid for a period of 12 months. Finally, please fill in the necessary forms, declarations and disclaimers after watching this video. Bag and vehicle searches may be done when entering and leaving the premises. Walkways are clearly marked out in all operational areas. As far as possible, please walk only on the walkways. All employees must undergo annual medicals. New employees will undergo entry medicals. Fitness for specific work conditions will be assessed. Personal protective equipment is provided to protect you against the hazards and dangers in the workplace. It's mandatory to wear the necessary PPE at all times. Closed leather shoes are minimum footwear throughout our facilities, with safety boots required for personnel working in the operational areas. High visibility vests are required in all areas where vehicles are in use. Other PPE requirements are illustrated as required at entrances to sites. Do not wear any loose clothing or jewelry if entering operational areas. Please note that visitors are only allowed to enter the factory working areas in the company of an Mpact employee and must remain with their host at all times. No eating or drinking is allowed in operational areas. All safety signage must be adhered to. No firearms are allowed on site. No person may enter the site if they're under the influence of or in possession of any intoxicating liquor or drugs. Mpact reserves the right to remove anyone from site who is suspected of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Please be aware that the taking of photographs without management's permission is strictly prohibited. Horseplay, joking and fooling around, such as throwing things, scuffling, or pointing an air hose at a person, is dangerous and is strictly forbidden. Many an innocent prank has turned into a serious accident or a fight. Compressed air is extremely dangerous and may not be used for dusting off people. Smoking is only permitted in designated areas. When ascending or descending stairs, always make use of the handrail. All contractors' tools are to be inspected prior to commencement of a job and any time during such a job. Any work being conducted with substandard equipment will be stopped immediately. Risk assessments of both routine and non-routine tasks have been conducted. Risk assessments will be reviewed periodically. Cell phone policies are in place at our operations, and your host will guide you on the details. In general, cell phones distract you from an awareness of your surroundings, so they may not be used in operational areas or where you're exposed to vehicle traffic. If you have to make or receive a call, move to an office area or other designated cell phone use areas. Please declare any relevant health conditions that you may have to your Mpact host before entering the plant. Management of contractors is essential in ensuring that both contractors and employees are kept safe on Mpact sites. A comprehensive contractor management system is in place, and contractors will be guided on the requirements by the site risk and safety officers. 11. Fire and safety rules to live by. A key safety driver in Mpact is our 11 Fire and Safety Rules to Live By program. Compliance with these rules is a minimum standard for safety at Mpact. The rules are: Rule 1. Hazard identification and risk assessment. Work will not proceed unless all hazards have been identified, assessed, and the appropriate safety measures have been put in place. Risk assessments of both routine and non-routine tasks have been conducted, and safe work procedures are in place. However, every task must be approached with a review of the current circumstances and requirements, and must be preceded by a job-specific risk assessment. Rule 2. Permit to work. No work of a hazardous nature will be carried out unless a duly authorized permit to work has been issued. Work permits are required to work on any process equipment or in dangerous situations, such as confined spaces, roof work, or hot work. Rule 3. Mobile plant and equipment. Equipment must be safe to use, and all drivers must be certified fit and competent. Adequate controls must be in place to prevent unauthorized operation and, where possible, to segregate vehicles from pedestrians. Seat belts must be worn on all vehicles at all times. All accidents, damage to machinery, plant or equipment must be immediately reported to your manager. Rule 4. Confined space entry. No person will be allowed to enter a confined space unless that space has been verified to be safe and a signed permit has been issued. The air in the confined space must be tested, and a co-worker must be stationed at the entrance to watch the worker inside throughout the process to ensure that he is conscious and safe. Rule 5. Working at heights. Fall arrest equipment and, where necessary, certified and safe platforms must be provided where there is a risk of falling or for any work done at a height of 2 meters or more. Scaffolding must be inspected and signed off by a qualified person. Before using a ladder, see that it's fitted with rubber safety pads to prevent it from slipping and to ensure that the ladder is free from cracks or broken rungs. Never use a ladder that is either too short or too long for the job, and always have somebody standing at the bottom keeping it secure. If possible, always secure the top of the ladder as well. Rule 6. Energy and machinery isolation. Before working on any equipment, plant or machinery, all energy sources must be isolated, locked out and made safe. Energy sources include electrical, mechanical, machinery that can move, gravity, things that can fall, pressure, fluid or gas under pressure, and chemical. Always test the energy source to ensure that it's isolated. Rule 7. Rotating and moving machinery. Adequate guarding and safety devices must be fitted to protect people from exposure to moving parts and rotating machinery. Sometimes it's not possible to screen all moving machinery, so you're advised to keep your distance from all machinery. Rule 8. Lifting and material handling. People are prohibited from standing below any suspended load, and all users must ensure that the lifting equipment is correctly rated and used for the intended purpose. Overhead cranes, slings and tackles must be inspected as per the company policy, and approval identification tags must be attached. Rule 9. Hazardous substances. Systems must be in place to ensure that all hazardous substances are identified, that the correct PPE is worn, and that emergency procedures are in place. All hazardous substances used on the premises must be properly labelled, and material safety data sheets, or MSDSs, must be provided. Rule 10. Modifications. A change of management system must be in place for all modifications made to plant, equipment, or processes. This is essential to ensure that people are made aware of the changes in the possible dangers posed by the equipment or process. Rule 11. Fire risk. We believe that all fires are preventable, and our goal for them is 0. Fire extinguishers, hose reels and hydrants are situated at strategic points. They are indicated by the fire extinguisher signage on the walls and walkways. Most plants also have extensive fire sprinkler systems in place. Critical to fire risk management is that the sources of fire must be eliminated. This is why smoking is prohibited in operational areas. Many plants also employ infrared scanners to manage hot electrical connections and mechanical hotspots. Safety drivers. Apart from the 11 fire and safety rules to live by, safety at Mpact is driven through detailed site-specific safety plans, the Mpact Safety Culture Awareness Program, and our behavior-based safety program. The 3 elements of the BBS program are Visible Felt Leadership Audits, or VFL, which are conducted by managers, supervisors and foremen as they observe potentially dangerous situations and discuss work situations with workers on the job. Planned job observations, which are organized reviews of safe work procedures to ensure that workers comply with the procedure or that the procedure is in fact up to date. Peer observations, where workers observe situations that cause each other to be unsafe and report these to the safety department to address with management. This is a no name, no blame process that empowers workers to take action to address unsafe situations. If someone approaches you about an unsafe situation they see you working on, please know that they are not criticizing you, but are helping to make sure that you go home in one piece. Procedures. There are emergency exit signs strategically placed throughout the factory. Familiarize yourself with the nearest emergency exit and your designated assembly point. Familiarize yourself with the evacuation procedure for your plant. In the event of an emergency evacuation, please make your way to the assembly points immediately in a controlled manner. Practice drills will be conducted from time to time. Should you be injured in any way or feel unwell, please report this without any delay to your supervisor, safety representative, foreman, or the on-site clinic. There are first aiders at all plants, and at some of the larger sites, there are clinics where a sister will be able to tend to your injuries. All accidents and incidents are investigated to establish the cause and to enable the company to take steps to prevent a recurrence. Food safety. Some Mpact plants have food safety certifications, and you may be required to fill in a health questionnaire and wear a hairnet and overalls, remove jewelry, and wash your hands as you enter the operational areas. Environmental. Slips, trips, and falls are a major cause of work-related accidents. Keep walkways and stairwells clear of obstructions. Keep fire equipment, posts, and emergency exits clear of all obstructions at all times. Housekeeping goes beyond the statement, "a place for everything and everything in its place." Our objective is having no unnecessary items about and keeping all necessary items in their proper place. Leave the ablutions, toilets, and facilities the way in which you would like to find them. Make use of dust bins. Please keep the site clean and do not litter either inside or around the plant. Mpact has an aggressive environmental policy. All wastes are to be separated and recycled wherever possible. Hazardous waste will be disposed of as determined by national and local bylaws. Save our natural resources and use them sparingly. Switch off lights and equipment when they're not in use. Closing taps to prevent wastage. Report leaking taps to the maintenance department. All hazardous waste, such as oils and greases, to be disposed of in marked containers, to be recycled or to be sent to licensed waste sites. Spillages should be cleaned up immediately and reported to the engineer. Care should be taken that spillages do not go down the storm water drains, as this can contaminate our rivers. Vehicles are to be inspected regularly to ensure no excessive exhaust smoke is emitted or any oil or fuel leaks. Closure. If you're unsure of something or regard it as unsafe, stop, think, ask someone, and then only act or proceed. Please work together to keep Mpact a safe and healthy working environment. Thank you for watching the Mpact induction video. Please have an incident-free day.